Okay, so our astrological reading for today, there's kittens in the background, right there, it's going to be the Taurus. We're going to do the fixed signs first. So, Taurus is my sign. I find it hardest to do your own sign because you have ideas about your sign already, which always makes it a little bit more complicated because you have to actually take yourself out of it. So as I said before, you're more than just your sun sign. You're your moon, your rising, your Mercury, your Jupiter, your Mars. There's many, many aspects that make up you. But the sun sign Taurus, that is the sign you're growing into, where the sun was in position when you were born. So Taurus, my gorgeous bull-headed creatures, you are a bull. So what that means is that you're the second sign in the zodiac. You're the element of earth, and you're a fixed sign. So the element of a fixed sign is like a tremendous amount of earth, immovable earth, mountain earth. Tauruses are, it's interesting to do this also during Mercury in retrograde, to try to make sense during Mercury in retrograde and to even get my tongue to find language during this time. So hopefully this will make a lot of sense to you, I'm hoping. Tauruses are ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty and love, the same as Libras. But originally they were ruled by a planet called Pan-Horus, but they never found Pan-Horus. So it's my personal opinion, and I've heard other astrologers mention this too, that the Taurus's planet really is Earth. But for now, we'll go by Venus. So the planet of beauty and love. So Tauruses, they do have an amazing aesthetics. They like to be surrounded in a great deal of beauty, but it needs to be comfortable. Tauruses are all about comfort. They're all about cuddles and hugs and food. Like, if you really, really want to connect to a Taurus, food is the way into their heart. Food or their favorite drink is into the way of their heart. They also, they are known for being incredibly stubborn, immovable, in fact, immovable. So here's some hints on how to deal with some Tauruses. I have to think of my friends that are Tauruses as well. If you try to push them, even if you're completely correct and you're trying to get them to see a different point of view, if you push a bull, their butts get 10,000 times heavier. They will be immovable if you try to push a bull. If you coerce a bull with food or friendliness or kindness, they may come forward. But if you decide out of your force to try to push them, you will never win. Never, never win. So the people that just have a really, really challenging time with Tauruses, here's a secret. Here's a secret into the Tauruses. If you have done something to hurt a Taurus's feelings, Tauruses never forget. So they're the opposite of Scorpio. So whenever you have an opposition, there's similarities between them. So while Scorpios can be obsessive, Tauruses can be possessive. So they think of you, and I'll get to the trick of how to deal with a Taurus in a moment. If a Taurus loves something, they claim it as their own. So it doesn't matter what it is. Tauruses are represented by the baby. When babies when infants turn into babies, they start realizing the difference between them and the things around them. So they become really grabby. That's mine. It's mine. Even mom is mine. So Tauruses, when they love you, in their mind and heart, you are theirs. You are theirs. They now own you like a thing. They may not be conscious of this. So I'm not attacking you, Tauruses, because I am one. So I know of what I speak when it comes to this. But it's not something I consciously think I own a person. It's just that that's the person that is really, really dear to my heart, and I love them and I hold them in this place. And if they harm me, it's always shocking, because why would something that you hold so deeply in your heart hurt you? It's like it's such a rude awakening when you have someone harm you. Now, here's the thing about Tauruses, and I'm not a typical Taurus, but Tauruses in general have a very slow burn. So they typically don't get angry quickly. They're very patient. Of all the signs, they're like a glacier. It's trying to move a glacier as well. But the good news about that aspect is that it's slow to move. So Tauruses tend not to go into rages really quickly. Now, if you have other elements in your chart, like a Scorpio, Mercury, Aries, not Mercury, excuse me, Gemini, then you might have more ability, you have more fire in there and a little bit more air, you're going to have an ability to move more quickly. But typically, Tauruses do not get angry very easily. But if you push a Taurus really hard and they reach their limit with you, they will be a raging bull and they will see red and they will not stop until you are gored. And it is awful. Like, it is terrifying to wake up a Taurus's rage. It's awful. So the best way to deal with that, because you can't make sense with it, when they enter that rage phase, there's no making sense. Just leave. Just get out of their way. Don't be in their sight. Save yourself. Save yourself and get out. Don't be around them. Let them cool off. They need to calm down. Then, because Tauruses can hold grudges for eternity, so if they're angry or they have been hurt, they will remember that. They're like elephants. They will remember that hurt forever. So the way to help them heal that, the way to make up for a possible mistake that you may have made, and we all make mistakes, so, and here's the secret with the Taurus. If you give them food, their favorite food, and you plan it, like I had one of my best friends, at one point, she spoke poorly behind my back to somebody else, and it got back to me. And I was like, that's it, no more. And she knew it intuitively that I was like done, because that is probably the worst thing you could do to me, is not talk to me about an issue you have, but talk to someone else about how wrong or bad I am, and then have it come back to me. I'm fine if I've done something wrong, but I want someone I love to have the courage and the strength to discuss it, to change, to bring light to the matter. I have no problem saying I'm sorry or I've done something wrong. But that pain is really hard for me. It may be for all Tauruses, I don't know. But so my friend had done this maybe 20 years ago, and it came back to me, and she knew that I was furious. So what she did is she made eggplant parmesan. She handmade it, and she put it in front of the hotel room I was staying at, and knocked on the door and fled. And it worked. Like, I was mad, I picked it up, I looked at it, I felt so loved, because Tauruses, the way to their heart is food. So when you make them something, or if you serve them their favorite warm drink at night, or they do like their feet rubbed as well. They're very cozy creatures, but food is their Achilles heel. So if you want to find a peace in that, a Taurus, once they soften with food, you can get in there and have a conversation with them, but it needs time. They have to calm, the red has to go down. Tauruses, while I love us, we are not the most intelligent of the signs, because of the fact that we are so stubborn. And when you're so stubborn, a lot of times you think that you're correct, and that's it. You're right. The way you see something is right. There's no more room for anything else. When we live in that way, we can't learn anymore. So it's really ridiculous. It's just ridiculous to think that you're right or your point of view is correct or your opinion is the only opinion and it's right. So in order to grow, I would say to my bovinian friends is to allow yourself to be wrong. Allow yourself, because you are. Sometimes you are dead wrong and you have such a hard time admitting it. Humility is not your favorite thing to do, but it's possible. And the other side of that stubbornness is that if you use that stubbornness towards your growth, towards wanting to grow more and more and more, it's limitless what you can do, especially with that power behind you to lock on to something and never let go, because that's a Taurus. They're like pit bulls. They lock on and then you're just not going to let go. But if it's for their own growth, if it's for humility, then it's endless possibilities for you. I have a Taurus girlfriend that I adore, and once we got in a big fight, and this is probably about 15 years ago, and Taurus against Taurus, that was no fun, and I was pissed. I don't know, it's hard to say what was going on her end, but I was really pissed. She had called me up, and she said to me something that will always stay with me in my mind. She said, "I don't know how to make this better, but I know that I really love you. I don't know how to make this better, but I know that I really love you." And my mind was blown because she gave me love and she didn't have the answer, even though I wanted an answer, or I'm sorry, or I'm wrong. But to just admit with humility that she doesn't know how to make it better and that she loves me regardless, shifted something inside of my stubborn brain in that moment. And love trumped being angry, being resentful, holding on to a grudge, making the other person wrong. So I'll say we're running a little past, but I'll say just a little bit more about Tauruses. They're incredibly sensual. So they tend to be really, really warm, good huggers. They're known for being sensual lovers. They love everything that's Venusian. So any kind of really, really good comforting food. They love the same thing over and over and over again. They do not get bored of the same food. You can give them the same food every day if they love it and they'd be fine. Change is it's not their friend. I have particular signs that really crave change, and I've got the Taurus side, so you could see that it's a bit of a challenge. But Tauruses like consistency. They like the same thing over and over and over again. They're warm. They're warm-hearted. They tend to be kind, but pig-headed. So, and when the negative side hits a Taurus, their wrathfulness, their brutality is the worst. And Taurus and Scorpios, when those two signs fight, it is said that those two signs, more than any of the signs in the zodiac, will destroy each other because neither one will ever give up. So they literally will decimate each other. Now, that said, always with the opposite signs, that's the sign that Taurians can learn the most from, and Scorpios can learn the most from. But Tauruses are blunt, and they don't think. So Sagittariuses are similar. So Tauruses will just say things as they are, and they have very kind of crude humor. And when they're around a Scorpio, Scorpios do not appreciate it. So yeah, there's room to grow. There's always room to grow. So my dear bull friends, what can I say to you? You are warm-hearted. You are cozy and snuggly creatures. You are, you have a velvet soul. You have velvet souls. Just try to keep being more open-minded. And thank you for supporting so many people and being the grounding stone for so many people, because you are. You have that ability. I would just stay out of the high drama of, oh my God, I'm having feelings, as if no other human being in the world has ever had them. Yes, very, very dramatic with their feelings. What can I say to end with on a beautiful note for the bulls? You show up. You are steadfast. And if someone needs to rely on you, you will be there. Without a doubt, you will be there. You are solid that way, and it doesn't change. And your loyalty is forever. You have an incredible amount of loyalty for those you love. Yeah, and I think that's all I have. Okay, that's a long one. Okay. Mwah. Happy Mercury in retrograde.